How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be a prediction video for the fight taking place this weekend between Florian Marku and Rylan Charlton in the welterweight division. Both fighters are at a similar stage in their professional career. I think Florian Marku is 7-0 and Rylan Charlton is 6-0. Both fighters have one draw on their record. The draw for Florian Marku came in his last fight, which is a fight that everybody or most people thought he won, so everybody called robbery on that fight. So it didn't really have a negative impact on his career, other than it just being a minor stain on his resume. But majority of the fans know he won the fight, so they're just pressing on to the next opponent, which is Rylan Charlton, who's coming off a good victory in his last fight where he beat the 9-0 Joe Laws, and he won that fight by knockout as well. So that really helped boost up his career, as Joe Laws was getting a little bit of hype behind him. But in my opinion, Joe Laws was just a very inflated opponent. In that fight, Joe Laws, he was very unimpressive and very unintelligent in his approach in the fight as well. He was loading up with power on every shot, swinging wild hooks. Charlton was able to slip under them and counter with left hooks to the body and left hooks up top. Charlton seemed physically too strong for Joe Laws, who seems to be just still a bit of a kid in there against a man. He got bulldogged in there and he got knocked out by Charlton. So Charlton is a 5'6" pressure fighter in the welterweight division. He uses a high guard, throws hooks when he gets up close. Pretty basic fighter. Florian Marku, he's an Albanian fighter, and he's a very popular fighter due to the Albanian community being a very tight-knit and supportive community of their people. Florian Marku is a very popular, marketable fighter in the sport. Big support behind him, big fan base behind him from Albania. He started off his fighting career in kickboxing and MMA, and then he transitioned over into boxing. Due to that transition from kickboxing and MMA, sometimes he can be a bit upright and square on. So you see that sometimes even when a guy gets up close on the inside of him, he's standing almost up straight, allowing the guy to put his head on the chest. And when you're standing up straight like that, you can easily get nailed with hooks and stuff unless you bend at the waist, which he doesn't really seem to do. So that could be interesting in this fight against Charlton, if Charlton can get on the inside, throw hooks while he's standing up straight. But surprisingly, Florian Marku, while he stands up straight, he seems to have decent defense. Now, he doesn't move his head a great deal, but he seems to be able to catch shots on the gloves and on the shoulders and counterpunch from there. So he's decent on the inside, and he's a pretty good boxer actually from range. Now, he's pretty flat-footed, but he's got decent hand speed, and he throws the sharper, straighter punches of the two guys. So I'm expecting Florian Marku to have success from range in this fight with the sharper, straighter, faster combinations. I like that Florian Marku, he switches stances, so he can box both southpaw and orthodox. He can fight a little bit on the inside and outside, like I said. He can mix up shots both to the body and the head. Decent body puncher. He's got decent power. Both fighters have respectable power in this fight. I don't think either of them are a monster puncher. Both are pretty physically strong for the division, and like I say, have decent power. So it's a very solid matchup. Both fighters at similar parts of their career. I'm looking forward to this fight. Now, the other thing I like about Florian Marku is he's very calm throughout his fights. He manages to stay very calm due to him having quite a bit of fighting experience. Now, in the pros, he's only got 7 professional boxing matches, but due to him having fought in MMA and kickboxing, he's very calm in a fight, and that's very beneficial, because as you saw Joe Laws, when he fought Charlton, he wasn't calm at all. He was loading up, he was tiring himself out, he seemed panicked, and that's the opposite of what Charlton's going to face in this fight. So I believe Florian Marku is actually quite an intelligent boxer. You know, I see some things in a couple of his fights that I've seen that I like that he does. He'll use if an opponent's in a high guard, which I'm expecting Charlton to be in this fight, in a high guard. Florian Marku will use one hand to pry down or pull down the opponent's glove away from their face. You know, when they're in that high guard defense, he'll pull the glove down away from the face, and then he'll slide a hook in behind where he's now opened up a space. He'll slide a shot in onto your face that is now opened up from him pulling your glove down. So that's a veteran move. That's a very crafty move. Like I mentioned, he switches stances, so he boxes both orthodox and southpaw. That's very crafty. Decent counter puncher, punches in combinations, and when he punches in combinations, he won't necessarily put power on all the punches in the combination. He'll mix up the power in the combination. So he might use some throwaway punches in order to land a meaningful shot. You see, sometimes he'll use a throwaway hook to set up his straight right hand or straight left hand, depending which stance he's in. The other thing Florian does nicely is, like I say, he'll use the combination where he might start it off with a couple of speed punches and then end the combination with one hard shot right at the end, which catches his opponent by surprise. And those speed punches, like I say, are kind of throwaway punches. He also uses as almost to blind the opponent, to then surprise you with one hard shot. And sometimes he'll use, if opponent's in a high guard, he'll use one hand, you know, a lead hand like the jab hand or something, use it as a blinder and slide another hard shot in. So those are a couple crafty things that I think he does. So tactically and technically, I think he's a bit better than Rylan Charlton in that sense, because with Rylan Charlton, he just seems a little bit basic to me, and you know, really just a pressure fighter that, you know, has solid high guard defense, and you know, he really seems a lot more the basic to me. Florian Marku, to me, he's a lot more intelligent, and he's doing a lot more different things in there, in my opinion. You know, so that's how I see the two fighters in this fight. I'm expecting, you know, Florian Marku to win the fight. The bookies have it practically as a pick'em fight, although I've seen the money has come in mostly on Florian Marku getting closer to the fight due to him having a bigger fan base, like I've said. But from what I've seen, I just think Florian Marku, he does more in there, and he seems to be the more craftier, cleverer fighter, and I believe he's going to land the more eye-catching shots, you know, the straighter, sharper, faster punches. I think he has the better hand speed. But I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight by any means, because like I said, Florian Marku, he seems pretty flat-footed, stands upright. Both those things can lead to problems against a pressure fighter, because that, you know, leads me to believe, him being flat-footed, that Charlton's possibly going to be able to get on the inside with him. But I think Florian Marku will be able to hold his own on the inside. But with him standing so upright, that's going to be interesting to see as well. But like I said, he still has decent defense, even for a guy that stands very upright in the pocket. You know, so that's how I see the fight playing out. I think Florian Marku is probably going to win on points with a chance of a late stoppage. You know, but I can't really make a judgment on, you know, how durable each of the guys are. So I'll just say Florian Marku to win, in my opinion. That's how I see the fight going. I think it's going to be a very good, entertaining matchup. So thanks for listening to the video, guys. Leave a comment below who you think's going to win. You know, let me know what your guys' opinions on this fight are. Thanks for listening to the video. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.